Okay, part 3. So the second day, after going to the farms, the pastor took me to this piece of land that was in a village, 3.5 hectare, and he took me into the church and he showed me this vision that he had on the wall about him wanting to start a chresh and then a primary school and then a high school and as well as a skills development center. And then we went actually on the land and we walked around, and in the middle of the land he stopped and he said, "You see this piece of land? I give that to you." And I was like, "What?" And he says, "You can build your house there, and if you want to sell it one day, you can sell it. Your children can come and live there." And I was like, "Lord, what are you doing?" And then I went home that evening and I prayed. I didn't sleep much, prayed a lot, and I asked God, why does He want me to have a piece of land? And I felt impressed that the Lord wanted me to start the mission station where I would have a healthcare center as well as a medical missionary training center and also a church where we would share the gospel, have tunnels with fruit and vegetables, have a soup kitchen, provide meals to people, have people work there in the gardens as well, and a whole program and idea about how we can reach out to these people, not only spiritually but also physically, and also teaching them and educating in different areas. So I went back to the church and I mentioned it to a few people, and they actually said, "But can that ground be or land be put in my name?" And I went to the pastor, and to make a long story short, he said no, it wasn't. He isn't able to, and he said, "But we can buy you another piece of land." So according to them, the tribal custom, outsiders can only get 2 pieces of land. So then I thought by myself and I prayed. I said, "Lord, I want 3 pieces of land as confirmation that this is truly from you." So the next day the pastor phoned me and he said to me, "You can have 3 pieces of land." And then we went and we looked at a pieces of land, and I had to meet the Induna the very next day, or the next Monday after we went out to the farms. And while we were there on this piece of land, they were busy measuring out. Someone found who was going to come and help me on the mission station, and I had to go and meet him. But just before I left, the pastor and the Induna told me that there's going to be a road between me and another property, and in that road there is 2 big marula trees. And I was saying to the Lord, "Lord, I need those 2 marula trees. It's very warm in this area because the land that they had put out for me hasn't got trees on." So I went, and on my way to go and fetch that gentleman, and when I came back, the pastor and the Induna were actually sitting on the stoep and having some tea, and they said to me, "We've made some changes and we will show you." And after them having their tea, they took me to the land and they showed me. They actually moved the fence. They took the road out and they put the road on the other side, and they said to me, "You can have these 2 trees, and do you see that tree there in the far end?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "You can have that tree as well." So I didn't mention anything to them about trees, and that is how I knew this is truly from God. So this is part 3. Stay tuned for part 4.